What's up, guys? So I'm back. It's been a while since we had a movie dump. It's actually been 2 years. I started the show 3 years ago. Jesus Christ, time goes by fast. But the last time I made a movie dump was during the writer strike and the actor strike. I made a whole video about it 2 years ago. And, I didn't make any more movie dumps after that because, one, to respect the writers, respect the actors with their strikes, and there was no news. And since then, there's been a lot of good shit and a lot of bad shit. This world fucking sucks. But I'm back, so now we're all healed. But before we talk about the main topics, I gotta talk about that damn Superman movie. Holy shit. I can't wait. As you see it, I'm excited. Because I love Superman. He's one of my favorite superheroes. Let me have the list. My top three. Number 1 is The Flash. Number 2 is Batman. And then number 3 is Superman. He's such a cool character. And I think with my generation, Gen Z, I don't look like I look like a homeless old man. Anyway, we are kind of used to the darker characters, and I love the dark shit. I watch all kinds of movies. My favorite is horror films. But with Superman, they kind of took a darker tone because Superman from the comics, the animated series, he's always been hope. He's always been uplifting. He's the definition of a superhero. He represents hope. He's kind. He's nice. He wants to save everyone. He's the definition of a superhero. And the best version we've gotten so far is Christopher Reeves. He is the best Superman, and he was a real-life Superman. Watch that documentary. It's fantastic and depressing. You will cry. And I liked Henry Cavill. I grew up with the Henry Cavill movies. I liked Man of Steel. I still like Man of Steel. But I think it's time we get hopeful Superman again. Because now, because of Zack Snyder's DC Universe, even if I liked most of the movies, there's some iffy. We've gotten Homelander because of it. We've gotten the Injustice Superman, where he's evil. We've gotten just a lot of evil Superman variant characters, and it's getting lazy. As a storytelling, it's lazy. The evil Superman is lazy. The evil Superman stereotypical characters, lazy. Let's be honest, we're all sick of Homelander. Okay, we are. So, with James Gunn, and don't diss James Gunn, he's one of the best underrated filmmakers, seriously. All his films are really good. They have a really good story, emotional, good characters. All his movies are good. Even Peacemaker, where I thought I wouldn't like it, one of my favorite shows of all time. It's fantastic. And yeah, his humor doesn't work, but I overlooked that. And his story, the stories he writes are so good. So when he took over DC and he's going to be directing Superman, I was excited. And now we got the first poster. And this first poster represents hope. Like, look at that poster. And that's how you make a movie poster. I should make another video about the downfall of movie posters. Because aren't you sick of the floating head posters? Anyway, that's how you get attention of the audience. That's how you get people to watch your movie, is a creative poster. That's creative. And before I talk about the poster, let's be honest, this world is getting a lot darker, a lot depressing, a lot of corrupt, evil shit happening in this world, especially where I live in America. It's going to be like goddamn Mad Max. I'm not even joking. I'm trying to stay, light and joke, but seriously, America will be like Mad Max. It's going to be crazy, chaotic, and horrible because we got Trump, who's literally pure evil. And with him running our country, it's going to be chaotic, evil 4 years. It's going to be bad. That's why we need a movie like Superman. again, not to get political, I don't give a shit what you guys think. Superman, it's just not important for starting James Gunn's universe. It's important for a lot of Americans that are depressed, like me, with the election. Knowing how depressing this world's about to get, we need a movie that's about hope. Like, I can't wait until July and I get to watch a movie and escape our depressing world for a few hours and just watch a movie about hope and their world is bright. I can't wait to watch a movie about hope. And okay, so let's talk about, that's why Superman's a very important movie, just not for James Gunn's universe. It's important for audience that are going to be very depressed. We need Superman, okay? So, and I always say it, movies, what makes movies special is you get to escape your world for a few hours and just enjoy that movie. Superman, we get to enjoy that movie for a few hours and we get to go back to our depressing world. But at least for that few hours, we can just have a good time watching Superman. You know, so let's talk about this poster. It's really good. There's nothing I can really say except how awesome it is. Like, I was not expecting that to wake up and get James Gunn posting about Superman. I was not expecting that. It was a good surprise. Yeah. I was thinking about something different. I was like, not going to say that. So, yeah, this poster is really good. And what really makes it cool is, like I said, it represents hope like Superman. It's bright. It's a creative poster. And it's motion. It's a motion poster. This is the poster you're going to be seeing when you go to your local movie theater. But online, it's a motion poster where it makes him look like he's flying. It says, look up. And, oh God, that theme. It's a mix of Gladiator, Hans Zimmer, and John Williams all mixed together. It's a great homage. Just listen. I'm not going to play it because I will get copyright, especially since I'm a small channel. I'm not going to risk that. But just listen to the soundtrack of this poster. It's fantastic. It will uplift your day. By the way, if I sound tired, because I am, I'm recording this at, I'm looking down at my laptop, 10 o'clock at night. So yeah, I'm tired. But, so yeah, the poster's fantastic. Can't wait for Superman. Yeah. Why I did that. So, let's talk about our main topics. Hollywood. It's a special place. It really is. It's a special place because it's going to be my job one day. I'm putting out with the universe. I'm going to be a filmmaker. And Hollywood's going to be my future job. If I'm lucky. It's all about luck. And yeah, there's problems with Hollywood. There's a lot of problems with Hollywood. But it's still, if you overlook that, it's still a very special place where we've gotten so much iconic movies for 100+ years. And iconic shows for 100 years. And yeah, it's a very special place. But my God, what the fuck are they doing? Okay, so the main topic I'm going to talk about, one of them is what's going on with legacy sequels. What do I mean by that? Or generational sequels. I'm talking about movies that were made during the 80s, 90s, early 2000s, and then decades later we get a sequel that no one asked for. We got Gladiator 2. No one was asking for that. We got Beetlejuice, the worst movie of the year. Oh, let me talk about Beetlejuice. This is a quick review of that bullshit movie. I'm going to read from the script I wrote because I can't remember the review top of my head. So, what I wrote was, so I said, it's the worst movie of the year. It is the worst movie of the year. I don't care what you think of Joker 2. I just watched Joker 2. It's way better than people say it is. It's not as bad as you think. I would definitely recommend Joker for the Ado than Beetlejuice, okay? Or Bill Skarsgård's The Crow. Again, another movie that people are trashing on. And I'm one of the person that that loves the Brandon Lee's The Crow. It's a perfect movie. It's a perfect revenge movie. I love Brandon Lee's The Crow. But I gave Bill Skarsgård's The Crow a chance, and it was better than I thought. It's not good, but it's better than what you would think. So, what else I wrote was, because it's not as bad as Beetlejuice, because that's true, it's not. Because the second Beetlejuice is the biggest mess I've ever seen. It is. It's a mess of a movie. I mean, there's 3 stories that don't connect at all, by the way. 3 stories that aren't good. They're annoying. And they go nowhere. And by the way, the main villain, his wife in real life, talk about nepotism. He forgets about his wife's character. Literally, she's on from the beginning, and then for an hour, no mention of her until the very end. Such a lazy movie, and it's a sequel no one was asking for. So what else did I write? I say seriously, go watch it. Don't watch it. Skip Beetlejuice 2. It's horrendous. But yeah, that's what I wrote for the review. It's a mess of a movie. It's a waste of our time. It's a waste of my time. I'm glad I watched it on HBO Max, because at least I didn't spend money at the theater to watch this mess of a movie. Alright, so that was my quick review of Beetlejuice. It's god-awful. But my point is, why do we have these sequels that no one's asking for? And before I get to my point, let's talk about Gladiator 2. Another movie no one was asking for. Especially with Ridley Scott, who has not made a good movie since the first Gladiator. That was over 20 years ago. Watch all his movies past Gladiator. They're all dog shit. I'm sorry, I'm a big fan. Not anymore. I was a big fan of Ridley Scott. All his films from the 1980s are fantastic. And then you get to after Gladiator, it's all shit. And I'm not talking about sequels for movies that were like a few years ago, like Smile 2. Smile 2 is really good. It's creative. It's a unique sequel. And my point is, if you're going to make a sequel, you have to care. This is for making any movie, any show. As a screenwriter, as a director, you have to care about your project. If you don't give a shit, your final product, your movie is going to be shit. Look at Joker Folie à Deux. I didn't think it was that bad, but Todd Phillips literally admitted he didn't give a shit. He just took the money, and you could see it with Joker Folie à Deux. Like I said, I didn't mind it, but it's not a good movie. If you're going to make a sequel, if you're going to make any movie, you have to care. You have to care about filmmaking. You have to care about storytelling. Because if you don't care, your movie is going to be shit. And as audience, we're not stupid. We actually want good movies. We're finally seeing that with the failures of the blockbusters for the past 3 years. They've been failing because we want some movies that are unique, creative. They're just good stories that are compelling to watch. Because biggest surprise of last year, or was it this year? Anyway, was Longlegs. Not the scariest movie of all time, but it is very scary and unique. I'm talking about indie films. I'm talking about filmmakers, indie filmmakers that make unique, creative movies that are new. They're not blockbusters. They're not IP movies. They're their own thing. And they're fantastic. We got A24, even if A24 is going mainstream. Totally ruins the legacy of A24. But when A24 made unique movies, we love that. We're not stupid as audience. We're not. There's a lot of stupid people in the world, but when we watch a movie, we want something creative, unique. Just like I said, a good story. We're sick of the bland, stereotypical movies now. That's why blockbusters are finally failing. And if you couldn't tell, I'm really sick of these blockbusters. And I'm glad they're failing because I'm sick of bland, typical movies. I want something fresh. I just want a good story that's unique. And this is why we need to support indie films. We need to support them. They should make more money than they do. We need to stop watching blockbusters and start watching indie films. Like Longlegs, like The Witch. Those are all iconic movies now because how creative and unique they were. They weren't typical. They were, I keep using the word unique, but they were. And we love that. That's what movies are good stories that are, I'm going to say again, creative, fresh. I don't know. My whole point is I'm sick of legacy sequels. I'm sick of blockbusters because we don't need them. And that's kind of why I'm glad they're failing. I shouldn't say I should be glad that movies are failing, but I'm glad these big movies that are typical and bland are failing because we're sick of it. We want something new, Hollywood. It does make me a little sad, though, that yes, blockbusters are failing, but they're still making enough money where these studios are justifying their trash. Just please watch indie films, please. Watch 8024 films before they went mainstream. Please watch Neon Films. What's the other one? Focus Features. They all make unique, creative films that are new and just good stories. Support your local filmmaker. Support good stuff. And hopefully with blockbusters finally failing and more indie films like Longlegs was a huge hit. A budget of $10 million made $100 million. That's huge for an indie film. So hopefully we're starting to see people support creativity than bland. All right, on to the next topic. Oh shit, we're talking about. All right, I love DC. Grew up with DC comics. I read the comics. I grew up with DC comics. I used to watch. This is true. I don't know if you remember back in the day. Back in my day, there was on Cartoon Network around 6 a.m., 7 a.m. during the weekdays. There used to be Batman the Animated Series and Superman the Animated Series from the 90s that replayed on Cartoon Network. I used to watch that. So I'm a huge DC fan. I watched all their animated movies. I read most of the comic books of the main characters, basically. My whole point is I'm a huge DC fan, and we've been butt-fucked by WB. I'm sorry, excuse my language, but we've been screwed over by WB so many years that the reputation of DC is a joke, and that sucks as a DC fan, because we should get movies where these characters get respect. Seriously. And I'm not ashamed to say it, I loved all the Zack Snyder DC films. Yeah, lots of people don't like it, but at least he had a vision. We're getting to my point now. DCEU, after Zack Snyder left, had no vision. They were just like, whatever sticks at the wall, let's try it out. Some succeeded, like Blue Beetle. Fantastic. That's a part of James Gunn's DCEU now. But anyway, that was one of the projects before James Gunn. We had the Batman. Best Batman we've had on screen. One of my favorite movies of all time is The Batman. We had... I'm trying to think of the top of my head. Shazam with a piece of shit actor. We don't talk about the actor, but the first Shazam's really good. So we had a few good DC films that weren't from Zack Snyder. But again, the problem was there was no vision. Like I said, I liked most Zack Snyder DC films except Suicide Squad. That is, holy shit, that's a rough watch. It would be a good drinking game for how many times they play music in like every 5 minutes. And like the color TikTok, like this was before TikTok. That movie has TikTok editing. It's horrendous. So, but do you know the crazy history of the DCEU? Sit down. All right. There's going to be a history lesson. It's going to be like you watching the History Channel, but after they stop talking about actual history and it's ancient aliens. That's like my show. It's not really important, but you won't waste your time. Do you see this shit? This is crazy. Seriously. This is like solving a math equation. This is These are all their canceled projects. It could be a whole book someone could write for all the canceled movies. They all canned. So what was first to be canceled was the original DC slate. Not even half of it was made. Most of it got canceled. So first was Cyborg. That movie was never going to see the light of day. I'm going to be honest. I love the Cyborg character. He's such a cool character that has a heartbreaking story. But he's mostly associated with the Teen Titans. He works much better as a team member than his own character. And with the whole Ray Fisher situation, you can read about that. It's some crazy shit what he went through with WB. The Cyborg movie was never going to happen. Never. So that's the first one to be canned. Next, the Green Lantern Corps. This one breaks my heart. Because of, you guessed it, this jackass. I'm sorry, I'm just not a fan of Ryan Reynolds. I'm really not. I'm just not a fan of his comedy. He's not funny. Anyway, this guy is responsible why we don't have any Green Lantern movies and why he's a joke of a character now. Because Green Lantern, my favorite is Hal Jordan. And there's so many other Green Lantern characters that are really cool, like John Stewart, Kyle Rayner, Guy Gardner. They're all really cool characters. And they're very important to the DC universe. They are the Earth protectors. They have such cool stories that could be made to really cool, awesome movies. But because of this guy, we're not getting a movie. And back with the original slate of the DCU, there was supposed to be a Green Lantern Corps from 2020. Well, even if it happened, it would have been delayed numerous times. Pandemic. So, we're never going to get the Green Lantern Corps because, again, old WB were such cowards. As I read on, you'll see how much of cowards and how scared they were. I don't understand how they function as a studio. Like, old WB. And this was like, there's a whole history of WB being bought out. That's a whole nother video. No, it's not. I'm never going to make a video about that. But WB's been bought a lot like a prostitute. I feel bad. Because we know WB Discovery, that's going to be sold in a few years. So it's like, stop passing around an iconic studio, please. And just make good movies, please. Believe. So since they were such cowards, Green Lantern movie was never going to happen. Like I said, even if they're one of the coolest DC characters of the DC universe. And by the way, these movies were dead on arrival. Seriously, they were. Because they never had any directors, any writers. They didn't even have any concept art. Nothing. So again, it was just dead on arrival, these two films. So next on the execution, yep, The Flash, you're up. No, you're up. This one breaks my heart because, like I said, The Flash is my favorite superhero of all time. I mean, how can you not like a character that's a speedster that can run at the speed of light? That's freaking awesome, man. Barry Allen's such a cool character. He's like Clark Kent. He represents hope, and he wants to save everyone. The Flash is such a cool character. He's one of my favorite superheroes. So it breaks my heart knowing the rough history of getting one movie out, by the way. And one movie that Andy Muschietti made that I think was good. I don't care what you say. I know most people trashed it. They trashed it because of Ezra Miller, who is a piece of shit. But they didn't trash it for the story. They just trashed it for Ezra Miller. Because the story is really good with the Flash movie. Except, Michael Keaton. I wish he wasn't part of it. I like Michael Keaton as an actor and his Batman, but it wasn't needed. But other than that, the Flash movie that we finally got was actually pretty good. But yeah, the history of getting that one movie is crazy. It happened during the 90s, but we're going to talk about the DCEU's The Flash. So first, we had the first attempt for the DCEU's The Flash was the director Rick. I'm going to mess up your last name. I'm so sorry, but it's Rick Famuyiwa. I'm so sorry. I apologize. But And it is such a shame because that guy is such a good director. Again, he's one of the directors that make really good creative movies. Like, watch Dope. It's fantastic and hilarious. And he was supposed to direct and write the Flash movie. And he he got pretty far. Like, they were about to film really soon before he dropped out because of creative differences. What that means is the producers were being corrupt and messed with the actual movie, and he left. That's what, when you see creative differences, it means the director, actor, whatever, left the project because they were messed with. Their original story was messed with from one of the producers or whatever. So yeah, so he left, and that sucks because we actually had a script done. He took pictures of the script, teasing what we could get, and from what I learned from online is that the original script was gonna have Ray Fisher's Cyborg. Cool, because if you watch the Justice League, even Joss Whedon's Justice League, their dynamic duo is perfect, even if it should be replaced by Hal Jordan, because this is my nerd talking right now. So from the comics, Hal Jordan, Barry Allen are really good friends. So they just basically did that with the movies, but they replaced Hal Jordan with Cyborg. That's fine. So yeah, nerd out. So yeah, so basically the story from what we learned from online was it was supposed to deal with, you know, Barry trying to get his dad out of prison because he never murdered his mom, and he's trying to prove that his dad's innocent, just like classic Flash story. And it was supposed to deal with the rogues, and the rogues were supposed to be really dark and gritty, awesome. Again, why did WB do that? Because of Zack Snyder's Justice League. It got canceled because it was a big flop, the Justice League. And again, since old WB were such cowards, they canned the Flash, Rick's version of the Flash. And it's a shame because it would have been probably really good. So the next director that they got never even made a movie. He was a writer. He wrote books. He wrote really weird fantasy books that were based on real life. It's Seth Grahame-Smith. He wrote Abraham Lincoln, Vampire Hunter. He wrote that stupid Pride and Justice. I can't speak. The zombie one. So yeah, the guy never directed the movie, but he wanted to direct The Flash. WB, being stupid, was like, sure, you never directed a movie before. Go for it. Direct a high-budget CGI movie. Yeah, that's going to be really smart. So surprisingly, he left. So then, what's really ashamed is we got Phil Lord and Miller. Really good storytellers. 21 Jump Street, hilarious, good. The Spider-Verse movies, these are guys that wrote the Spider-Verse movies. Really good. I don't know what WB were thinking. Oh, because they were cowards and they didn't know how to make movies. Like, oh. Because if you look at the history of WB, when AT&T bought them, they were like scared to make movies. I'm not talking about superhero movies. They were scared to make actual movies because a phone company bought them. Thank God they sold it, but ugh. So yeah, it's really a shame that they left. I don't know how far they got. I really can't find anything online. But if they wrote a script, because we know that they were hired, I don't know how long they were writing the script. It never leaked online, so we don't know if there ever was a script for Phil Lord and Miller's The Flash. I'm sure it would have been funny and good. But nope, we never got that. So then we got the guys that made a shockingly good comedy, Game Night. I really can't remember their names, but they were actors from Freaking Geeks too. Would have been fine. I can't say anything because they left real quick. It's like they saw the Flash being butchered and they're like, yeah, and they left. So then we finally got Andy Muschietti's The Flash, where I think is actually a pretty good movie. So on to the next Dead on Arrival movie of DC. And this one made no sense. It was Nightwing. We were supposed to get a Nightwing movie. I'm saying this made no sense because of Zack Snyder's DC. Nightwing's dead. Grayson never made it to be Nightwing. Joker killed Grayson with Zack Snyder's Justice. Not Justice, but with Zack Snyder's DC universe. Grayson's dead. Joker killed him. Originally with the comics, again, nerd is back. With the comics, with Death in the Family, it was Jason Todd who was beat to death, but they switched it to Dick. I don't know why, but anyway. So this movie made no sense. I'm guessing it would have to be an Elseworld, but DC at the time wasn't doing any Elseworlds because this was before the Batman and the Joker. So this movie made no sense. They got the guy Chris McKay that made the Batman Lego movie. Can't lie, I didn't like that movie. I know most people like that movie, so I'm sure it would have been a movie. Because I can't judge because it never happened. So yeah, that got canned real quick because it made no sense with Zack Snyder's universe. It made no sense. And again, it's such bullshit, this old universe. It really is. Because as a DC fan, it breaks your heart that all these characters that are really cool. Because Nightwing is such a cool character. He's an amazing character. He is as popular as Batman. Like, that's how popular Nightwing is. And he's such a cool character. And it's just a shame that we're never going to get a Nightwing movie until James Gunn's Brave and the Bold. I got some theories about that because maybe I'll make another video about James Gunn's Batman because I think is going to go through a lot of changes. I don't want to go into detail, but yeah. So next on the cancellation, there's a whole. This is like I said, could be a whole chapter book of shit not to do. So next after Nightwing was, and by the way, it felt like Coneheads were controlling the universe. It really does. It really does. So we actually got a movie that was actually almost made, but selfishly, me thinking, thank goodness it never happened because we want to get Matt Reeves the Batman with Robert Pattinson, who is the best Batman. We want to get that movie because we're talking about Ben Affleck's The Batman. This got really close to being developed. Like, this was so close that you can literally read the whole script online. It leaked online. You can look up the storyboards of the movie. That's how far along they were to making this movie. It almost happened. But not to get depressing, but why it didn't happen was because Ben Affleck was a alcoholic and he really needed help. So he dropped out of the role. Smart, focus on yourself. But yeah, that this Batman movie had a finished script and they were casting it. I can never say his name. He was Deathstroke. He was going to be the main villain. And there was finished concept art, like I said, and there was different drafts of the script you can read online. And it never happened. Again, me being selfish, I'm glad it never happened because we want to get Matt Reeves' amazing Batman movie and his amazing universe he's creating. James Gunn, let Matt Reeves cook. Let him cook. Both of you cook because you guys are both great filmmakers. So, yeah, that never happened. So then after Zack Snyder left, we could have gotten a Joker versus Harley movie. No. Just no. I don't want to see a wannabe gangster, Jared Leto. He's the worst Joker. I don't care what you say. He's the worst Joker. And I don't want a girl that has a horrible Boston accent. I like Margot Robbie. She's one of my favorite actresses. But her Boston accent, dog shit. I can't do an accent. I'll admit, I can't do a Boston accent. I don't know what the hell that was. But again, with Harley Quinn, I'm kind of sick of seeing her. Because she's everywhere. Because Margot Robbie was good as Harley Quinn, but her accent was awful. But she was a good Harley Quinn. And then we got too much. We got animated show. We got her with 3 movies. Birds of Prey. The Suicide Squad. That's a good movie. It is a good movie. And then we got the 2016 Suicide Squad. That dog shit. We got too much Harley Quinn. Have that character take a break. Just like the Joker, have it take a break and let these other characters rise for a little while, and then you guys can be back part of the party. Okay? But No, I'm so glad that got canceled. So glad. Who wants to see Jared Leto's Joker? No one. We got him with Zack Snyder's Justice League, and he was still dog shit. He's awful. And Jared Leto's an awful person. He really is. So then we were supposed to get a Gotham Sirens, and it's a team-up movie with Catwoman, Batgirl, or it could be Oracle when she got shot by the Joker, but who knows what variation it would have been, and it was Huntress. And Batgirl, or it could be Oracle when she got shot by the Joker, but who knows what variation it would have been, and it was Huntress. And it would have been cool. I love Catwoman, such a cool character. Huntress really don't know about. And Batgirl is really cool. Would have been a cool movie. It was supposed to be directed by David Ayer. I like David Ayer, but his DC movies, he made one, is dog shit. And I'm sorry, I don't want you to make my characters all gangsters. Because if you watch David Ayer films, he loves the Hispanic culture. That's fine. Respect. But with all his movies, he's very typical with his Hispanic characters. Because they're all Hispanic gangsters. If you watch all his movies, all his gangsters are very typical. I'm glad you respect the Hispanic culture. I respect every culture. But if you're going to make it typical, every movie, you're going to have every Mexican be a goddamn gangster. I don't know. Seems a little racist to me. So I don't want him to make my DC characters want to be gangsters. Look at Jared Leto's The Joker. That is a guy who's a wannabe gangster. Harley Quinn was again, another wannabe. Watch Suicide Squad. They both act like wannabe gangsters. Look at Killer Croc. That's a perfect example. He was watching goddamn BET in his cell room. What the frick? How typical can you get? So I'm glad that movie never happened because I don't want to see my DC characters be wannabe gangsters. I want my DC characters to actually be who they are from the comics. Or even better. No offense to David Ayer. I like his films, but do better with your characters, dude. I'm so sick of the wannabe gangsters in your movies. Do better. I didn't watch the Beehive stupid movie. Maybe that's different. Because I know he didn't write that movie. I know he just directed it. So, I'm talking about David Ayer a lot. More than most people have done. So, I'm going to move on. So, then, we were supposed to get... So, Gotham Sirens never happened. But that eventually was just turned to the Birds of Prey movie. So, Birds of Prey is basically what was Gotham Sirens. You get what I'm saying. So, yeah. So, Birds of Prey was basically Gotham Sirens. So, then we were supposed to get a solo Jared Leto Joker movie. No! No! No. So, moving on. So, then we were supposed to get Zack Snyder's Justice League sequels. And, like I said, God, if there was a God... There's not, but if there was, thank you. Because what he was about to do to my DC characters, I like most Zack Snyder movies. His non-DC movies, his DC movies, I like most of them. Except Sucker Punch. That is just unwatchable, dude. Ugh. But most of the movies, I like. What he was about to do with the DC characters is crazy with his Justice League movies. So this is, again, you can read the finished scripts online, and there's concept art. It's fans who made it, but it's still concept art that they got from the script, the official script. This is real. This was supposed to happen before he stepped down, and I'm glad it never happened. This is one of the smart moves old WB did. Very rare thank you. No, you don't get a thank you. No. You don't get a thank you when you're already a shithead. Anyway, so... This is real. So, it was supposed to have Superman turning evil because of Darkseid. They set that up fine. They were supposed to explore the nightmare apocalypse that we saw from Batman vs. Superman. Perfect. You're continuing the story. This is when we get to the weird shit. So, what the actual hell? So, I swear to God, the writers were on coke with this movie that never happened. So, listen, this was supposed to happen. So, Bruce Wayne likes Lois Lane. He likes her a lot. He starts dating Lois Lane After Superman dies, by the way. Well, what a good friend you are, you piece of shit. So then, very manipulative. Okay, so, and then they do the nasty, him and Lois. She gets pregnant. Then Batman kills himself by sacrificing himself. So then, his son that he never knew, that's Lois's son, grows up to be the new Batman. What? No! No! Like I said, they must have been on coke. So yeah, that was supposed to be Zack Snyder's Justice League sequels. I like Zack Snyder's Justice League. I think it's much better than the Joss Whedon. But no, the sequels, no. I like that you were exploring evil Superman because you set that up. I'm glad you were exploring the Nightmare Apocalypse. You were setting that up. But having Bruce Wayne having Bruce Wayne bang Lois, get her pregnant? No, that's not the characters. Lois from the comics would never do that. Lois loved Clark. She didn't just love Superman. She loved Clark. She would never cheat on him. So no, I'm glad it never happened. So Suicide Squad. So Suicide is, yeah, I don't know why I wrote that. I wrote Suicide is bad. Duh. I don't know why I wrote that. Okay, so Suicide Squad. I'm sorry. 2016's. It's bad. It's bad. It's a bad movie. I rewatched it a few months ago. I couldn't even get through half of it. I turned it off. It's that bad. And I'm very forgiving. I'm one of those people that loves hilarious bad movies. I love going on Tubi and finding the weirdest shit to watch. But Suicide Squad is a hard watch. It is. Again, it would be better if it was a drinking game, but you might get alcohol poisoning because you're going to drink a lot watching that movie. Ugh. So, 2016 movie sucks. But it made a lot of money. It almost made $1 billion. Isn't that crazy? It made like $700 million. That's a lot for a Suicide Squad movie. So, again, they wanted a sequel. So they wanted a sequel, and kind of like The Flash, it eventually happened, but it was with James Gunn's The Suicide Squad. We're talking about the original sequel that got canceled. So this one had numerous directors and writers that dropped out. That's why it was canned, and it never saw the light of day. So again, showing holy shit, you had no plan actually was, again, how long this list is. It just continues. This video is already long just because of the DC content that never happened. Is crazy. So yeah, buckle up. We're not done yet. There's a lot of canceled movies we've got to talk about before we get to the James Gunn's DCU. So next was the Trench movie. People thought it was about those scary sea creatures. And that's what I thought before reading this list about what it was actually about. So it was actually a secret Black Manta movie. Well, why did you keep that a secret? I actually think because how successful Aquaman was, it made $1 billion. It shouldn't have. It made $1 billion. That Black Manta movie would have been made if you announced it as a Black Manta movie. Because again, very cool villain. Would have worked. He's one of those villains that actually works on his own. And the bonus is when he fights Aquaman. So you could have made this movie. And it would have probably been alright or decent or even good. But why did they have it a secret? I don't know. So that never happened. But if you watch Aquaman 2, lots of the story points from the Black Manta movie that got canceled is a part of Aquaman 2. So you basically got it anyway. What was canceled? We got the Batgirl movie, The New Gods, Strange Adventures, Our Man, Black Hawks, The Wonder Twins, Man of Steel 2, Black Adam 2. Thank goodness that never happened. And Dwayne Johnson, you were right. The hierarchy, I can never say that word, of power was about to change. You getting fired, you dumbass. So, thank goodness. No one wanted the Rock DC universe. Seriously. And then There was the Deathstroke, Amazons, the Flash Chew, that one makes me sad. Krypton, why was there a Krypton movie? Plastic Man, Metal Man. We're actually going to be seeing Metal Man with James Gunn's universe. If you watch Creature Commandos episode 3, you'll get what I'm saying. So, Static Shock, and finally, Aqualad. And it really makes me sad because all these characters are fantastic. But it was with a universe with no vision. It was never going to happen, these movies. Especially since the old WB was very reactionary. But after heartbreak and annoyance, we finally have a vision with WB hiring James Gunn and Peter Safran, the guy that no one remembers. And they have a vision, and it's a good vision. And thank goodness. It's what we need, is a DC universe with a vision and characters getting the respect they deserve. And it's because James Gunn has admitted he's a comic book nerd. He reads comics. He knows these characters. He respects these characters. So I'm excited. And with Creature Commandos, though, I can tell you a show I wasn't looking forward to is surprisingly amazing. It's a really good show. And we finally, the DCEU, that's the actual name now, is finally off to a good start. And now we get Superman next year. It's looking good. And that is Movie Dump. It's a long video. I'm going to edit it down. But yeah, it's good to be back making these type of videos. I love making videos about movies, movie reviews, about old movies, new movies, bad movies, and talking about them. I love that because I love watching movies and shows. And but I also like talking about movie news and these type of videos where I just want to talk about something. But yeah, so there's going to be more movie dumps, especially with the Superman trailer being released Thursday. I'm definitely going to be talking about that. But yeah, movie dumps back. Hopefully you liked it. But yeah, subscribe, share. Follow me on my socials. I'm mostly on Bluesky. But yeah, see ya. Peace.